I'm a broker, 10 years and over. We do multifamily. I'm a principal and a partner at the Lean Associates office in North County, San Diego. We do strictly, at least my team, I have a team of 4 guys. We do apartment deals, 5 units to about 50, 60 units in the San Diego County area. We're really focused on mom and pop type of operators, and we usually work with private equity, either local families or private equity that ends up buying the building. Because of this, we also met Anton. Anton's a client of mine. And between working on deals, we started just thinking about some technology solutions basically to help create efficiencies with not just multifamily, but transactions and just the whole process of finding deals. And it's just there's so many efficiencies there. So I personally, as an apartment broker, underwrite a ton of deals on a weekly basis. We have a team that does it. I actually have a couple analysts that do it. So it's a painstakingly expensive process to do it in a as a in the old school way. So I mean, I have the team built already, so we're processing and we have a system. But because of this and going through the early years of the business, I just know the pain, it and the time and the cost it takes to underwrite deals. And so it's always been something on my mind to help smaller investors and help mom and pops out, just to help them not only know the value of their building easier, and kind of help take away some of the data from the brokers, but just kind of like I hate using the democratization of data. I feel like it's used a lot, but it's kind of what we're going for. We just want to help the smaller investors, help the bigger investors, just eliminate extra staffing, eliminate just the length of time to underwrite a deal. So that's the long and short of it. And then we have Anton. He's coming from the investor side, mostly running a family office and an investment, like a private equity type of apartment investment company. And so he was feeling the same pain, but just in a different way. So the need to underwrite more deals, to quickly identify deals that are worth writing an offer on, that is. And I'm sure you guys all know what we're talking about. So that's why IntellCRE was put together. Anton and I were able to put together a pretty fantastic group of engineers, and we're really excited about them. They put in a ton of hard work for the last 2 years building this product. So I really can't say enough about them. They've been crushing it, and they're super smart. And they've been putting together not only just algorithms, but it's the machine's learning. I'm sorry, I have to dumb it down. I'm a real estate guy, but the machine's basically learning and generating data, not only as from like a property perspective, but it's pulling both paid and created data sources. It's estimating expenses. It's finding sales comps, and it's helping based on those sales comps, basically helping arrive at a value. So that's, without talking too much, I think maybe we can get into a demo if you guys want to, and Tony can take it away. Tony's our director of sales, and he's the demo man.
Okay. Well, thank you,
All
Eric,
right.
for the introduction. Thank you,
You
everyone,
got
for
it.
being here. We're glad to be here and to show the IntellCRE platform. I think you will be impressed and see the value in the product once I show it to you. If you have any questions, we have quite a few people online, so you can hold those to the end. And I can try and answer those, and what I can't answer, we'll get the answer to you. So
And
with that being,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry, do you have access to sharing the screen on your end? Just making
Yes.
sure.
Yep.
If Bobby
Yes.
needed to. Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Okay, perfect. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and get started. And here we go. So our platform is very simple to use. Basically, all you need to do is go to IntellCRE, register, create your account. So you can all see my screen now, correct?
Yep,
Yes.
yeah, we see it.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So basically, you come to IntellCRE, the website, you register, you create an account. Your front page here, this is your home page, your platform page. It has all your portfolios of properties that you're currently working on, along with, whether it's active, inactive, sold, purchase, etc. You also have a map on the side showing locations. So in order to start the underwriting process, the first thing you'll do is go to a new analysis. You'll type in the address of the property you want to underwrite, research, create a marketing package for it. Come in it, click it on. The system will automatically scour the web for data regarding that property. We've managed to import some exterior and interior photos and some property information. For demonstrations, I'll start with an empty analysis right here. So we'll come in and you can do multifamily, retail. We're adding office, industrial, land assets coming soon, probably the next 30, 60 days, somewhere in that time frame. So basically, all we need to do now is add the property details. Now I've imported and included the exterior photos, some interior photos. We can change, add different photos anytime we want to right here. Just remove the photo. If there's additional photos you want to add or the one we're not populated, you simply add the photos right here. It's very simple. The system was designed to be streamlined and make the underwriting process as seamless as possible. So
Tony, this
yes.
is Prashant Kumar. Sorry, I know we started to do a demo, but at a very high level, can you explain what is that? What is the main objective? I mean,
the main objective is to be able to underwrite a property instead of taking hours to do it in a matter of minutes. See if the deal is going to pan out for you. There are multiple scenarios on the property. So if it didn't meet your decision criteria numbers, you can always run it again within about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, change the metrics and see if it works for you. So as we go through the process, I can show you in depth how we're going to arrive at that. Create an offering memorandum and a marketing package.
And these properties are available on MLS or CoStar, or these are off-market properties?
Okay, so for these properties here, this would be a property that you would be getting ready to underwrite. So as long as you have the information of which the property you want to underwrite, you'll simply enter in that property information, the address in. We're going to pull some information regarding it. So far as the MLS and the other things you're talking about, that would be a different like deal box or deal finder, which I'll go over that probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. Show you how to pass from source deals to bring in new income.
I have a question to ask. You don't do that much in the way of residential, just more multifamily type stuff?
It was designed for multifamily, but you can do residential also. We do have agents and brokers that use residential, or if you're underwriting a property, you could also underwrite it as residential and you create an offering memorandum.
And if I could jump in, basically, yes. If you want, I mean, essentially 1 to 4 units, you're underwriting the deal in a somewhat similar fashion, outside of perhaps different expenses. And to answer the previous question, instead of using from the previous participant, instead of using your standard Excel spreadsheet or back of the napkin, the whole idea is to basically get away from the Excel spreadsheet, get away from the 5 different data sources that you're using, get away from having to wait until your broker gets back to you in 3 days with data that you requested. We're trying to put this all together in one nice package so that you can identify a deal, you can analyze it, and you can figure out if it's for you or not, and or at what price is your strike price.
Does that kind of address the questions issues there?
And basically, you're not trying to propose a deal here. What your software is basically, if we know a property, we go and do the underwriting quickly here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you can also generate a marketing package. You can generate an analysis. You can present to lenders or whoever you want to present it to. So you'll be able to see that at the final end of the presentation when I generate that package for you and show you the marketing package or the underwriting process.
Yeah.
Sounds
Guys,
good. This gives me some
in the interest of time, let's save the questions till later or put them in chat. You can put them in chat and then we'll get to them at the end for sure.
or if you want, just if you want to save the questions, we can address them via email. I mean, if that's easier for you guys, we can just send everything to Tony. Tony can address it. If you guys want a starter login, Tony can set that up for you guys too, and that might be a super efficient way to get everybody's questions answered.
Yeah, I think
Either
that
way,
works best.
either way, but let's save the questions till the end. And like Eric said, you can either email them to Tony or put them in chat. But ideally, put them in chat so that everybody can get the answers at the same time. I think it's more efficient.
Okay. All right. So another feature I want to show you is on the right-hand side here where our mouse is at is a running overview. It's kind of a quick sniff test as we go through the process to let us know if it's meeting our decision criteria, the numbers and metrics that we're looking for. So as we go through here further, as I mentioned, we can enter any additional photos. We have property details we managed to pull in. This is editable. So if they didn't pull them in or it's incorrect or you need to update, you simply come in here and just update the information. It makes it really simple and to streamline it. Brief property description can be entered in right here, along with property highlights. We come down to the area description. So basically, save time, just AI generate, let AI do the work for us. That's one less task we have to worry about. We can also see walk, bike, and transit scores right here. And if you want to include those in the final package, that's great. And if you don't, you simply disable the walk score. We see now it's generated our area description. We can also generate our area highlights using AI. Simply hit AI generate. If you don't like the first one, have it do it again. It's very simple and streamlines it. Now, if there's area photos that you wanted to include, I have one gentleman down south that actually has a drone that he uses to take photos, and he simply uploads the photos and puts them here. You can add as many as you'd like to. So now we kind of get to the meat and potatoes here regarding the process. We come to income. If you have an appfolio or you already rent roll export, it uploads perfectly. You can type in the rent roll totals. You can type them in individually, which is the least desirable. Or you can upload an Excel spreadsheet for the rent roll on that. Now there's rent roll guidelines here to make sure it uploads it and you're using the proper format. So I do have a rent roll Excel spreadsheet for this property. I'll simply open it and let the system do its work. Now we see that we've parsed the data and asked, did it do it correctly? If it did, give us a thumbs up so we know the AI engine is doing its job correctly in reading the documents. And if it didn't, give it a thumbs down. There's a human in the loop. When we see that, one of the engineers in the back will take a look at the file that you attempted to upload, see what the issue is. Was it something in the formatting, or is it something on our end, or do we need to train the AI engine to read this document a little bit better? You can also do perform a rent analysis right here, edit multiple units, and disable unit numbers. So basically now we see we've got our unit counts, our bedroom space, square foot, our current rents with lease expiration dates also to include in the rent roll. And we can see our performa fair market value rents right here. It looks like there's a nice upside. As we continue through this, if there's any additional unit input, we simply add it here. Vacancy and bad debt, depending on how in depth you want to go into the writing process. Some people want to do it very basic, others want a bit more information. So we can now factor in year by year vacancy and bad debt. Just by flicking this on toggle switch, if we think the economy might take a downturn, we might want to increase our bad debt next year or the year after accordingly. And also with rent growth, depending on your market, where you're doing it at, you can factor in a rent growth over your whole period right here by year. Those are just additional features that we actually added due to customer feedback. So if there's anything that's not on the platform that you'd like to see, let us know. We're very responsive. We'll usually have it implemented with about a month max. It's not going to take us 6 months or a year. We can also look at our lease up. If that's something that's applying, what's our lease up period and the amount of months, we just simply enter in here. And so we now it comes to any additional income. Are you charging for pets, parking, laundry? If it's added in here, what the current monthly value is, annual value, whatever metric you want to use here, property value, add it. Your other income growth rate, this is adjustable. They're all adjustable. You can be over, everything can be overridden. If you want to put it at 4%, whatever you feel comfortable with. If there's additional income, simply add another field. It makes it really simple and streamlined. So basically now we've got all of our income totals. We can see our current versus performer fair market value numbers, and it looks pretty good. The second piece of information we'd like to have, and sometimes, a lot of times we don't have it, is the operating expenses. So if you have a standard profit and loss, a T12 operating data, it'll upload perfectly. You can type in the operating expenses. You can upload an Excel spreadsheet. Or sometimes you have nothing. You're waiting for the agent, the broker, whoever to get you the expense information. Might be a couple of days. You can auto estimate the expenses. So what the system does is it looks for similar property with about a 2 to 4 mile radius of the property you're looking at, or what their insurance costs would be, utilities, etc. So it gives you a semi-accurate number to start the process with. So we can see here insurance costs. If it doesn't apply to us, we can simply exit off an expense. And if there's an expense that's not included, we can simply add it right here. Just add another expense. It simplifies the process there again. So now we see current expenses versus pro forma. We can also set our operating expense growth rate per expense. Because as you know, California, Florida, your insurance is going up more than 4%. I can guarantee you that. So basically, we can adjust that accordingly. We can also offset the pro forma expenses. You can also, it'll automatically calculate the property taxes. If you're not going to use that, we simply don't use that feature. We can even take it one step further if we'd like to and do advanced tax modeling and see what our tax rate is based on our whole period, what the taxes are, if there's any kind of tax credits or et cetera. And if you want to use it, fantastic. Like I said, just hit the toggle. So it really streamlines the process. So basically now on the right-hand side, we can see here how we're doing with our underwriting process. Icons explain how the equations are reached, what they mean, and how the numbers are looking. Germ caps. You can see our decision criteria right now. It looks pretty good. It's got all green. So let us know it's hopefully this is going to pan out for us. If there's any kind of renovation or capital expenditure, definitely need to include that. What your renovation project is it a roof? Is it rent? Whatever. Add your cost. Does it affect vacancy? If it does, month starts month end. You can add multiple projects, renovation or capital expenditure. If you're not going to do it, so we just not use the picture. Basically, now we've got all of our expense totals, our current versus pro forma. So we can see what the numbers look like and how they look. Next feature up is we come to our comps. Definitely have to have your sales around comps. The system will automatically select for you or give you suggestions, excuse me, comps based on a property you're looking at within the 2 to 4 mile range. Yeah. So now we got our suggestions here for our comps. We can come in, we can select which comp most closely suits us and the ones that we want to use. Now we have a filter here also that allows us to narrow the search down, go by price, number of units, etc. Apply that filter to narrow the search down. We try to cross-check the data for accuracy. If we find that it doesn't really match up, there will be a notation letting you know that it's subject to accuracy because no data provider is 100% accurate. They're not even 90, maybe 80 accuracy. That goes for the biggest company out there, as I'm sure you all know. So if you have your own comps, you can import your own comp library, and nobody knows better than you, as being a broker or agent, what the comps are in your market. So if you have some comps that you want to use, you want to include, you simply hit create comp, add that to your comp library. Select the ones you want to use, save and close. Now you selected your comps. Same thing with rent comparables. You get suggestions, come in, you can edit this, take it one step further to really fine tune the underwriting process. Select the comps that you want to use. You can also import your comp library or use comps that you already have. Save and close. Now you've got your comps. Basically, I come down to the acquisition and sell feature part, which are property value per unit, which are our optimal price estimate here in the green. Now, is the seller coming in any kind of acquisition cost? If it is, just click on it. What's our hold? Toggle switch, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, whatever it might be. We can actually factor in working capital if we want to do that. And our exit cap rate, which is suggested value, but this can be overridden. And you can also set your decision criteria in the settings section when you start using the platform to have it so you can have multiple decision criteria for different locations. You're doing business in Florida, California, Massachusetts, you can set it in this settings section so the default to whatever criteria you specify for that state and city. You can even use granular as that for the city and have multiple. So we think now we see our acquisition summary, total cash to close, our total project investment, and our total acquisition cost. Now, is there an existing loan? There's a feature for that. If you're not using financing, it's all cash, simply do not use financing. We also added a feature, seller financing, which is customer-based feedback. They'd like to see that. So we added that feature here now. So if you're doing seller financing, simply just fill this in. You can have multiple financings on here. Sometimes it might take 2, 3 to get the deal done. We all know that. So one's not going to do it. We can simply come in, add additional financing, as many as you need in order to get the job done. Refinance, if that's something that's going to apply, so we just the refinance button here. One of the features I like here also is the sensitivity analysis, which allows us to kind of have a crystal ball and not have to do as much work. Again, time saver. And basically see if our exit cap rate, purchase price, or performer rent growth changes. We can look out anywhere from 3 to 9 steps. So we can change increments quarterly as we'd like to. I think cap rate changes from 5.34 to 6.34. What's our exit value or IRR or equity multiples going to look like? We can see it right here, plain and simple, without having to do another underwriting analysis. Purchase price, if it changes by 50,000, 100,000, whatever it might be. And you can see as we increase it, we see the numbers of metrics change down here, exit values and what they might be. They do a performer rent growth. If we increase it at 1% steps instead of 0.5%, how do our numbers look? So now, those of you doing syndication, we have a feature for that. Equity waterfall feature, excuse me. And so basically with this, we can factor in our equity waterfall structure, our GP, LP equities, hurdles. We can break it down and see as granular as the waterfall structure, what the GP, LP shares, the splits, payouts, and exact monthly payouts are going to be. And this is great for syndication. And we're pretty much done. In this short of a time, we've completed the underwriting process. We can see our financial dashboard, our DCR, cash on cash, cap rates, IRR, and a GRM, and the upside looks good. As I mentioned here, this is a kind of running overview, our decision criteria, and we can configure this to our liking. To the number of metrics that we need to look for. If there's any additional document you'd like to attach, simply add it here. Floor plans, due diligence documents, anything, attach a file, to generate analysis, and you're done. Now, this is a brief summary. Okay, so we can see based on our decision criteria, it's passed. It's exceeded all the metrics we had, which is nice. And if it didn't pass, that's okay. There might be 1 or 2 areas that didn't pass in. We can always run another analysis in a fraction of the time it took us to do this one and see if the number's going to work for us. And I'll show you how we can do that very quickly. So with the summary, we basically have all the information here, decision criteria, estimates, maps, rent rolls, operating statements, or equity waterfall structure. Well, let's look a bit more in depth and see how the analysis looks. So as I mentioned, we can run multiple scenarios, multiple analysis on a property. So if this one here didn't pass, or it did pass, we want to run another one and see with some different numbers and metrics. It's very simple to do. Instead of doing the entire process, we simply hit duplicate, give it a new name, 4021 32nd Street, optimistic scenario. Edit the metrics we want to change, hit generate analysis, and now we've created our next one. Now we can do multiple to see if it's going to work out, pan out for us. We now see our return metrics, acquisition sale, our price estimate, price per unit, our rent roll, which can be exported into a sales spreadsheet, fair lease expiration dates. There's graphs and maps that are inactive. We can share this with anybody we want to. Just copy the link, send it to them. It looks beautiful on any device, phone, tablet, laptop, desktop. Looks really good. And you can also print it out as a PDF. So we have all our operating statements here, our expenses. There's interactive graphs we look at, take it a little bit more granular into what the costs are, our projections based on our hold, our acquisition and financing scenarios, cash flow and debt, our equity waterfall structure, our sensitivity analysis. So let's see how the package comes out and looks. So as I mentioned, we can share this with anybody we want to. We simply hit share property, copy the link, send it to them. It's going to look beautiful. I'll send all of you a copy of the marketing package if you like. Just contact me after the meeting and with your information, and I'll send that to you. To view the marketing package, this is how it looks. And this is what we just created at a fraction of the time. So now we have our exterior photos, interior photos, property location, your custom logo and branding, your property information here, your metrics, price estimate, optimal price range. This would be your contact information here. Come to the meat and potatoes now. We see the property descriptions, highlights, area descriptions, walk scores. We want to include it. Any area photos we might want to include. There's location maps, which are interactive. So the person can come in and look at what's next door to the place that they're looking at. Area highlights. We have our rent rolls included. Graphs with average rent per unit types. Like I said, at a fraction of the time we've done this. And it didn't take us 2 hours to find out the deal wasn't going to work out. And then we've got to redo it again. We have our comps in here also. So as I mentioned, it's interactive. They can look in and see. They can see the comps you chose, the rent comps, exact same thing. We can match any color you have in the process. This would be your contact information again, your custom branding and logo. A confidentiality disclaimer would be included also, which can be customized for your specific need. So there's a couple of the features I do want to show you because I'm not sure how we are on time for everybody. But one of the other features we have is it's called Dealbox. Okay. And this is a passive way to bring in new business. So basically what Dealbox does is we can embed a widget on your website. Okay. And if you look here, you'll see check my property value on the bottom. The widget that's embedded on their website, which basically allows someone to come to your website and without calling you, a lot of times they don't want to call. You can't take the call. So you're losing business, you're losing contacts right there. This allows for a seamless engagement for someone coming to your site to take a look and say, hey, let me see what my property value is worth. They might have a question. They simply hit check my property value. Enter in some basic information on what they want to do, if they're interested in buying, selling, whatever it might be. They have some questions for you. The bottom line is you haven't done anything and you get a lead in your inbox. Okay. You get a lead in your inbox. In Dealbox, we try to make this a holistic approach so that everything is located on one platform. You're not going from one site to the next and having 4 or 5 windows open. You can come to IntellCRE, you can see what's in Dealbox. Basically, from that little interaction right there, you now see that Jeremy or Michelle has submitted some information. They've uploaded information on the property they're interested in buying, selling, whatever it might be. You come in, you take a look, you click on Underwrite Now, and you can start the underwriting process, create a marketing package for them, whatever you want to do. If you need more information, now that you've got their contact information, you simply just send them an email. Just submit it this way, upload it on the link. This is a great feature without you having to do a single thing. You haven't done anything, okay? And the widget has passively brought in some new leads to business. No matter if you get the deal or not, you still bring in a new contact, which you can follow up on a later date. So it streamlines the process. And the other little feature I want to show you is called Deal Finder. And what that does is another way to actually passively save time. So when you're looking for new properties to purchase, etc., you come in. There's other businesses that do this, but everything's not included in one place. What you do is come in, you put location of the properties you want to look at, where I'm looking for. You hit search. You go to your filters and you set the filter up for what kind of property you're looking for, price range, price per area, etc., number of units. Apply that filter. Once a property comes online matching your search criteria, you're notified that this property has come online and it's now available. You can come in, you can take a look, click it on, start the process, done running the property. We are adding more data to this as we speak. We're actually adding more of the broker information. We're getting as much as we can. It should be date and time stamped coming soon to let you know how long the property has actually been on the market. So if it's been on there 5 or 6 months, you can come in a lower offer. And if it's brand new, vice versa. So those are some of the features that are included in IntellCRE professional package.